This is Chris, the Idaho Painter. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to quickly and efficiently mask a bedroom to paint the walls. So before you start the painting process, one of the things you want to do is get all that clutter out of the room. The more stuff you have in the room, the more stuff can get paint on it. And it's a little difficult to have to work and mask and actually roll walls with an extension pole and your nap and roller and drag your paint pan around all your furniture and all your belongings. So get all that stuff out of the room, and also that's a good time to vacuum underneath and around things that haven't been vacuumed in years. And then you can start your painting process by masking first. So a couple of the items you're going to need to actually complete this task of masking this bedroom is, of course, tape. And I do recommend a high quality tape, and there's blue painter's tape, there's beige masking painter's tape, there's green frog tape, yellow frog tape, all different kinds of tape. If you want to learn more about the tapes, I do have a video on that on my Idaho Painter YouTube channel, the Idaho Painter. You can go check out that video. But have a good quality tape. In this task right here, we're actually going to use green frog tape. That's probably the most commonly used tape that we use, and I'm going to use it to mask off the trim in here around the windows and the glass. And then another one of the items you're going to need is some form of hand masker. This is going to make your masking process a lot faster and a lot easier. So if you're going to be doing any painting more than just a bedroom, it's a good item to invest in. And you're also going to want a good quality painter's drop cloth. And these things are inexpensive, but believe me, they will save your carpet from getting paint on it and making a big mess. And this is a lot cheaper to replace than your carpet. So those are just some of the simple tools you're going to need to mask a bedroom to get it ready to paint. So I'm going to begin masking this bedroom, and I'm going to use my green frog tape, and I'm going to run around all my baseboards, around my door jambs, and around my window trim first. That's the very first thing I do. And here's my tape I'm going to be using. Just going to get this tape out, and we're going to start that process, and I'm going to show you how easy and how simple it is to do this masking right here. So we're just going to start off masking, and I want to get a nice crisp clean line around my edges, and this is going to give me some nice clean lines around my trim. And this is a really important step. Be pretty careful and get good crisp clean lines. Frog tape is going to keep your paint from bleeding through the tape and make it all jaggy. So invest a little bit more money, get some frog tape. It's not cheap, but it's well worth the money. Just keep working along here. I'm going to work down here, work along the baseboards, and just, on a quick note on this tape, using good tape is very important. If you use really cheap tape, just an inexpensive masking tape, one of the worst things about it is it actually splinters after you go to pull it off. So you're starting to pull it off and it splinters, and it breaks, so you have to pick it off pieces at a time, and it's really annoying. It's nice to be able to just grab all the tape and pull it off really quickly. So invest in some really good tape. Just cruising right along here. I'm going to mask the tops of my baseboards, and you want to stay on the wood. When you do your masking, don't get it up onto the wall. You want your masking on the wood so you have a good clean line. And if it's on the wall, a textured wall, it will have a tendency, your paint will have a tendency to bleed into the tape or underneath the tape a lot easier because the wall is rough and not smooth like your trim. So hopefully you can see this. I'm just getting it down here, and I just take it and pull about a foot of tape along, and then I just run my fingers along, and that way I can keep my tape really straight if I'm working like a foot at a time. And I just stretch the tape out and then just press it down with my fingers. You can see I just like to pull out a long length of tape, stretch it, and that will give you a really nice clean line. I'm just going to come along here, just work around my window trim. This is a window sill, so I'm going to mask all this off. I'm going to lift up my blind. My painted edge, my drywall edge actually wraps around this, so I'm actually going to put masking on my vinyl windows like this. Same thing, going to mask all around these windows. Just going to keep mask that whole thing because we're going to be painting, wrapping around that drywall. So once I get some nice crisp lines masked all around my trim, the edges of my doors, my baseboards, my windowsills, and door jambs. Now I'm going to begin by masking of paper around the baseboards to help control any splatter coming down from getting on my carpet. I'm just going to run it around and tack it to my baseboards, my windowsills, and over my blinds to cover my blinds. I'm also just going to put it right here. We'll be rolling paint above the closet, even though there's no baseboards there. I'm just going to put some right here to protect this area. Just stick it right to my closet door. Now, if you've never used one of these hand maskers, they can be a little bit intimidating, but it's pretty simple to use. I've actually got videos on how to load and actually use one of these things too, so go check out my channel on how to use a hand masker. Now I also have a window blind hanging up here above this window, and we're going to be painting above that, and I like to run some paper across this window blind in case any splatter comes down and lands on that blind. If it's some type of cellular blind, cloth blind, paint gets on it, that thing's pretty much ruined. You're going to have to get another blind. So I like to protect my blinds. It's just for like a couple cents. I'm going to run some paper over that, and there you go, blinds protected. Then I also like on my windowsills, if I'm working overhead, I don't want to splatter paint on my windowsill, so I'm going to run some paper on my windowsill too. So that's just some added protection there. Okay, now I've got my paper masking all laid out. I've got my trim all masked off, and the next thing I need to do is lay out my drop cloth. You're going to get, I recommend 2 drop cloths. 1 drop cloth will be fine, but you're going to want to lay your drop cloth out on the floor, and your pan of paint that you're going to be rolling out of, you want your pan of paint on that drop cloth at all times. So lay that drop cloth out in a nice area that's going to protect that pan of paint, keep any paint from spilling out of the pan or splattering out of the pan. And then I also like to use the 4-foot runners, and so I'm going to run it along the paper where I'm actually working. That's just if you have 2 drop cloths, you can have one that you're running along the area to help aid along with the paper from paint splattering. So got a 4-foot drop cloth. This is 4 foot by 12 foot. So I'm going to run along my wall I'm actually painting on, and then the other drop cloth is going to be sitting on the ground, and the roller pan is going to be on that, because you don't want to have to have your roller pan on a drop cloth dragging it around. So I got my 4-foot runner laid out, and I just lay it right over the top of the paper. Now this wall, I'm ready to roll this wall. Well, there you have it. That's how you quickly and efficiently mask a bedroom. And if you got any masking tips yourself, we would really like to see them. Just write them down in the comments below. They really do help our subscribers. And I've been painting for about 15 years now, and I'd like to see your tips and tricks, because I might learn something new.